Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you would never ask. It is Monday, the 27th day of July. Today is National Love is Kind Day. And we should all love one another a little more than we do. If you would treat everyone around you, even if you do it just for today, treat everyone around you the way you want to be treated. If everybody did that, you know what an awesome world this would be? It'd be amazing, wouldn't it, Heidi?
It would be amazing.
It would. National Scotch Day. If everybody was drinking scotch... oh, no, that's not... National New Jersey Day today and National Creme Brulee Day. Ooh.
I like creme brulee.
I got to admit, I had never tried it until the two of us were married.
It's your favorite.
And you ordered it somewhere, and I was like, I don't know what that is, so probably not. I'm like, I'll have
it's good stuff.
Cupcake. And then you got yours, and I ate all of it. And we're like, you want the other half of my cupcake? I got a guest joining me today. It's a Movie Star Monday. We have Francesca Reale. She's from the TV show Stranger Things. She's been in a lot of other stuff as well, but that's a huge, huge project she was a part of. And now she's got a new film out called Yes, God, Yes. It just came out. We'll chat with her in a bit. Many people have dabbled in the stock market for their very first time ever this year. If you're new to the market, but you don't want to learn things the hard way and the expensive way, I encourage you to subscribe to this free newsletter. You can get the inside track with Wall Street's brightest minds delivered directly to your inbox every day at marketbeatminute.com. Subscribe for free. If you change your mind, just unsubscribe. Sign up for free right now at marketbeatminute.com. That's marketbeatminute.com. Now, surveys and studies and such brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com. A new study found that gray hair is not a sign of old age in chimpanzees. So, if you're a chimp and you're gray, doesn't mean you're old.
Okay.
I wonder if that's the same for people. I know some people who got gray hair very young. So, it just
I think it's a
tends
sign
to be,
of stress.
I think it's wisdom.
Yeah, yeah.
Sign of wisdom.
Okay.
Think of how smart we are.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just look at this gray that's popping out here.
I know.
It's wisdom. That's the wisdom hairs. No, I don't know what it is. My goatee used to have no gray. Now, look at that.
It's got a lot of gray.
It's almost all gray.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. Apparently, I'm not a chimpanzee. Surveys and studies and such brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com.
Some credit cards have really high rates or big annual fees. Usually, people sign up for these when it's all they qualify for. If that sounds like you, it may be time to get a better credit card. Over time, your situation changes, and you may qualify for a better credit card. Your current card hopes you don't think about it, but our site shows you many options to see if there's a better credit card for you. Check it out for free at BetterCreditCards.com. That's BetterCreditCards.com.
This is your Brain on Drugs, brought to you by TimeForRehab.com. A boozy night of partying with 7 dudes from England. Actually, I guess she's from England. Left a young lady from England with a whole lot more than a king-size hangover. When she woke up, she had 7 tattoos on her thigh. Here's what happened. 22-year-old Megan Gerhardt and 6 girlfriends went on a little getaway a couple years ago to a Spanish island of Magaluf. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Magaluf. They met 7 guys who hailed from the United Kingdom. So I guess the guys were from the UK. The 14 went to bars every single night. On their last night, they passed a tattoo parlor. Jokingly, Gerhard, who had a little bit to drink, said, "How about I get a tattoo with everybody's initials to honor this chance meeting?" Anyway, many people were begging her not to, but she said, "I'm doing it." You know, a little bit of booze will do that to you.
Yeah.
So then she gets home and finds out that some of the guys gave fake names because they had girlfriends. Now, a couple years later, she decided, I'm getting rid of that. She just got a new tattoo to cover it all up. But now it's all over social media. So even without the tattoo, bad memories. That's what happens when your brain is on drugs.
John and Heidi.
Now, big screen, little screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com. A new report shows that Johnny Depp once presented Kate Moss with a diamond necklace, but for some reason he had it smuggled somewhere to get it to her.
Oh.
Between his cheeks.
Okay.
I don't know. I have no
Gross.
idea why. I'm learning a lot about Johnny Depp. So This next story, and I'm going to come back to this, low-budget horror movie The Wretched has been this year's surprise hit of the summer box office, despite its competition from re-releases like the Titanic. And they're saying that this is like, even though it's not a great movie, it's just the best story we got for the summer. No, the best story is just read what Johnny Depp has done.
Jeez.
It is insane. And speaking of insane, Lindsay Lohan and the whole cast of The Parent Trap reunited last week for the film's 22nd
isn't that
anniversary.
cute?
Do you remember that? That was a neat movie.
It was
our
all
daughter
right.
watched it over and over and over. She must have really liked it. Remember, she watched
Yeah.
it a lot.
Yeah.
So I've seen it several times. I've fallen asleep through many of them, but I've seen the whole thing at least once. Anyway, kind of cool stuff. This is Big Screen, Little Screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com.
We're here to make it better.
If you find that drug or alcohol problems are hitting you too close to home, you can get help. Maybe it's time for rehab. Your insurance may even cover everything. Learn more at timeforrehab.com. Get help for a drug or alcohol problem within 24 hours.
We're here to make it better.
Get more information at timeforrehab.com. That's timeforrehab.com.
Now your scoop of the day. It comes your way courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. A Kansas dog walked over 50 miles to its old home in Missouri after the owner reported missing last week. Cleo, a 4-year-old Labrador Retriever Border Collie mix, had a microchip that located her 50 miles away. So they moved, and apparently Cleo, when Cleo got lost, walked to the old house instead of the new house. It's amazing to me how dogs can do that. We had a dog one time for about 45 minutes. And Maggie, was that the dog's
Maggie,
name?
it was Maggie. Yeah, she was a basset hound.
Basset hound. And we opened the door, and we didn't realize our gate was
She
open.
took off.
And she took off running, and we chased and chased
We never
and
did
chased.
catch her. You would think a basset hound
Yeah.
wouldn't be able to move, but she was saving up her energy.
She was trucking, man. Anyway, we get a call like an hour later from the people we got her from. They're like, Maggie's back here. We're like,
It was the next day.
Oh, was it the next day?
Yeah,
It was like-
because they were far away.
Yeah. So anyway, we said, I think Maggie wants to be there. So
Yeah, we're like, I think that's your
that's probably
dog.
not the right dog for us. A group of Dollar General employees in Louisiana recognized a wanted murderer suspect.
Oh.
This happened last week. They locked him in the store while they called the police. Now,
Oh.
I hope that all of the other customers were not in the store at the time. Can you even imagine? But they saw a guy in there like, hey, that's a dude that's wanted for murder. And they locked the doors and held him in the store
Well, good
until
for
police
them.
could get
That's
there. Yeah, it's
cool.
really cool. Very cool. Canadian government will not allow the Toronto Blue Jays to play games in Canada this year. So they're not allowed to play baseball there. Barcelona is back on lockdown after coronavirus surged last week in the Spanish city. And Crayola, this is kind of a cool story. They're going to make some colorful Crayola masks for kids because there's, some places where kids will be going back to school, some places where they will not. But they're going, hey, either way, whether they're wearing them to school or if they're wearing them going elsewhere, Crayola had this bright idea to come up with some colorful Crayola masks that are the size of a kid's face. It's a good idea. It's a really good idea. Bizarre story right here. I mean, this makes no sense to me. A video of a Sacramento woman at a Verizon store. She was asked to either wear a mask or go, so she went right there on the floor.
I saw this story.
What in the world?
Yeah, you're not helping your cause, lady. I mean,
No,
that's not the way to handle it.
That's not what they meant by either wear a
Yeah.
mask or go. They meant leave. But she urinated on the floor at a store
That's gross.
in Sacramento. I don't get that at all. Stormy Daniels' former attorney, it says here, Michael Avente, claims that he's broke and he cannot afford his own legal fees because he's in trouble now for something. So, and final story
Welcome
here.
to the club, dude.
Yeah. Talking Heads drummer Chris France claims in his new memoir that the frontman, David Byrne from Talking Heads, was very cold to the band. So, there you go. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
Do you pay too much for insurance? Have you looked around? Or are you too chicken? Don't be afraid to look around to see if you can find a better deal at InsuranceChicken.com. We make it super simple for you to see rates from several different companies, to see what they have to offer, all in one place. Peck out great insurance deals at InsuranceChicken.com. Is it time for you to cross the road? See if we can save you money each month at InsuranceChicken.com. That's InsuranceChicken.com.
It's another Movie Star Monday, and our guest today is Francesca Reale, and she was in Stranger Things, and she's been in several other things. She's got a new movie out. It's called Yes, God, Yes. Now, it's not a faith-based film by any means. It's a funny film, though, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. Yes, God, Yes is a coming-of-age story about a young girl named Alice, played by Natalia Dyer, who kind of grows up in this extremely religious circle of a community and kind of struggles with trying to figure out, as she's growing up, how to manage and deal and address these growing sexual feelings that she has, kind of how to navigate those feelings that she starts to develop in her teenage years.
And this is probably something that, pretty much everybody deals with, but it's not something that everybody talks about, right?
I think it's definitely something that everyone deals with, but I think it's something that women don't talk about because, I don't know, when I was growing up, going to high school, all my guy friends would always joke about sex and all that. It was like something they were so comfortable doing with one another, even around girls, and girls never really were given the opportunity to feel okay, even making jokes about it to an extent. So I think it's definitely something that women are not really given the opportunity to explore with communicating with their friends or talk about with their family and then explore in general.
The topic I know makes some people very uncomfortable, but in the movie it's done in a fun way, right?
Yes, I know from the outside, hearing about this film, I feel like this is not for me, but I promise it's such a truthful and honest and funny movie that you would be able to connect with Karen's writing no matter what she was talking about. And they're able to kind of talk about a subject that more women should be talking about, more young girls should be learning about and being able to express themselves with in such a lighthearted and honest way that it really feels very comfortable. You feel very connected with Natalia's character the whole time.
And since there's two of you in this film from the TV show Stranger Things, let's talk about that a little bit. What was it like to be a part of a program like that just became so huge?
So I only got to be a part of the third season of Stranger Things, but even that was just such a blessing, honestly. I mean, I got to meet Natalia working on this movie beforehand, and then just getting to go back to Atlanta and work with her again on Stranger Things was so nice because we had already grown so close from this process. And the whole cast and crew of Stranger Things is such a family unit. You really can't get a better cast and crew who make you feel so welcome and so comfortable and really just help you enjoy your time on set.
So you got involved in season 3. By then, was it already a huge success?
I think it had exploded from the first episode of season 1 coming out on Netflix. I remember being told by so many friends, you have to watch this show, Stranger Things. So obviously going into the third season, there was a lot of anxiety. I was like, this standard to uphold. The show is loved and watched by so many. I don't want to disappoint anyone. I need my character and my performance to be really up there with everyone else's.
And I didn't actually start watching it till I believe about season 3 was out, and then I had to go back and watch from the beginning all the way up. And now I've been told, is there season 4 on the way?
Yes, there is another season coming out. I believe nothing is still going back to shooting because of safety concerns with the coronavirus, but hopefully they can return to shooting as soon as possible, and then they can crank out that new season. But I know that with COVID, a lot of sets are taking their time going back so that they can make sure that their cast and crew are all incredibly safe.
Yeah.
And that's the most important thing right now.
And many people online have said in 2020, the whole world is in the upside down in Stranger Things.
It does feel that way, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
I would agree with that to an extent. It does feel very topsy-turvy. I mean, some living, I think, more luxuriously than others, but, your quarantine, I think, is miserable in a bunch of different ways. But, I would rather be safe and stuck in my home than be outside.
So the new film, Yes, God, Yes, is out right now. Where can folks find this movie?
In virtual cinemas, which you can find on the Yes, God, Yes website. You can put in your zip code and figure out which cinema closest to you is showing it, and then, I guess, rent it somehow to play on your TV. And then I believe they're working on trying to get it into some drive-ins as soon as possible.
And tomorrow's a big day for you guys as well, right?
It'll be out on iTunes to rent and goodbye.
We'll throw a link to all of this information in our show notes for today. And once again, Francesca, thanks for taking the time to chat with us.
Of course.
Again, Francesca Reale, and you might know her from Stranger Things, and now she's got a new film out, and it's an interesting one. It's called Yes, God, Yes. I've got a link to all of the information in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com. Many people have dabbled in the stock market for their very first time ever this year. If you're new to the market, but you don't want to learn things the hard way and the expensive way, I encourage you to subscribe to this free newsletter. You can get the inside track with Wall Street's brightest minds delivered directly to your inbox every day at marketbeatminute.com. Subscribe for free. If you change your mind, just unsubscribe. Sign up for free right now at marketbeatminute.com. That's marketbeatminute.com. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The Queen of England is a wedding crasher. If you invite the Queen to your wedding, even if you're not royalty, there's a chance she might show up anyway. And she did. One unsuspecting couple in Manchester invited the Queen to their wedding just because they thought it was the right thing to do. And she showed up at their wedding in 2012. That's kind of cool.
Okay, that's cute.
So, have you ever gotten an invite to a wedding of somebody you don't even know and you went to it anyway?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did last week, actually. That's why I brought it up. No, we knew their parents, but we didn't know. So, that's why I said that. Anyway, this has been today's fun fact.
Some credit cards have really high rates or big annual fees. Usually, people sign up for these when it's all they qualify for. If that sounds like you, it may be time to get a better credit card. Over time, your situation changes, and you may qualify for a better credit card. Your current card hopes you don't think about it, but our site shows you many options to see if there's a better credit card for you. Check it out for free at bettercreditcards.com. That's bettercreditcards.com.
Time now for a news headline from somewhere in this world, Dateline, England. Buckingham Palace insiders say Prince Andrew was a no-show at his daughter Beatrice's wedding. How would you say it? Beatrice?
Beatrice.
Beatrice.
That's how I would say it.
In Nebraska, it's Beatrice, Nebraska. That's why I said it that way.
Oh, okay.
Beatrice probably does make more sense for a person's name. And there's a football team, Rice, that was playing them, the Nebraska Cornhuskers, and for one day they changed the name to Beat Rice. It's spelled the same way. B-E-A-T. So they changed the pronunciation to Beat Rice for that day. Anyway, that's a completely different story than this. But Prince Andrew didn't show up at his own daughter's wedding. So he's in trouble for doing some bad stuff.
He was probably busy on an island and couldn't get away.
Yeah, it's a bad deal. This is a news headline from somewhere in this world.
We're here to make it better.
If you find that drug or alcohol problems are hitting you too close to home, you can get help. Maybe it's time for rehab. Your insurance may even cover everything. Learn more at timeforrehab.com. Get help for a drug or alcohol problem within 24 hours.
We're here to make it better.
Get more information at timeforrehab.com. That's timeforrehab.com.
Now some weird news brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. Florida man injured in a bicycle crash, but a weird one. He hit an iguana.
Oh.
Don't worry. Injuries were not life-threatening, at least for the 62-year-old bicyclist. The man was riding on a path July the 10th, and this is in the Florida Keys. An iguana darted in front of him. Keys residents are in constant battle with lizards, said Adam Linhart, spokesperson for the sheriff department. He said they're just everywhere. Cars hit them on a lot of highways. They can grow up to 5 feet long and have been known to fall from trees in cooler weather.
5 feet long?
Yeah. Sheriff's office said one got stuck between the front tire and the front wheel fork, caused the front tire to lock up.
Oh, my gosh.
The rider tumbled over his handlebars onto the asphalt. The bicyclist was taken to a hospital and got some stitches in his head, had some scrapes on his arm and his leg. So he's doing okay, but it doesn't sound like maybe the lizard did so great.
Oh, my gosh.
It's a bad deal.
I had no idea they could get that big.
Yeah. Be careful out there. Thanks for listening to today's Weird News.
John and Heidi.
Time now for your moment of duh, brought to you by InsuranceChicken.com. A Florida woman has been charged with grand theft after she was allegedly caught on camera stealing orchids. Yeah. 34-year-old Katrina Marie Brady was arrested for stealing orchids that residents had placed on trees growing in the Swale, in a residential neighborhood in the city, about 5 miles west of Miami. She was caught on camera when she allegedly stole about $4,000 worth of these floral beauties. Yeah. The first was on June 4th, and again on June 19th. The flowers had been part of the neighborhood's Orchid Project, which artist Ray Corral and Alina Melinda started about 2 or 3 years ago. Her crime isn't the first time orchid thievery was made headlines. Back in 1994, horticulturist John LaRoche and some members of the Seminole tribe were arrested for poaching rare orchids from a state preserve. So there you go. I never heard of such a thing, but apparently orchid thievery is a thing. So be nice to each other.
I wonder what she was doing with all of them.
Well, they're beautiful, so she's probably bringing them home. But those are not for free, no matter what you hear on the radio.
Right.
They're not free. Don't take those. Bad idea. That's why it's today's Moment of Duh.
Do you pay too much for insurance? Have you looked around? Or are you too chicken? Don't be afraid to look around to see if you can find a better deal at InsuranceChicken.com. We make it super simple for you to see rates from several different companies, to see what they have to offer, all in one place. Heck out great insurance deals at InsuranceChicken.com. Is it time for you to cross the road? See if we can save you money each month at InsuranceChicken.com. That's InsuranceChicken.com.
Time now for fake news or Florida. Heidi, tell me, is this a true story from the great state of Florida, or is it fake news made up to trick you and amuse me? Are you ready for this one?
I'm ready.
Fake news or Florida. Fort Walton Beach dog breeder was busted for drug possession after a Chihuahua ate his duffel bag and tested positive for marijuana. Fake news or Florida?
I'm going to say fake news.
That is fake news. There's a lot going on there.
That one was too much.
Just way too much. But you know what? Again, I don't make these up. Folks, if you think you can get by Heidi's little, fake news detector, you should submit your fake news or Florida story. You can do that at the bottom of the page at fake news. No, I'm not. It's not there. It's at johnandheidishow.com.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with good news, and I think this is good news. It comes your way courtesy of BetterCreditCards.com. And here's the really cool story. This is one of those right place, right time things. Here's the headline. Visiting doctor rescues drowning boy at a hotel pool. This is so cool.
Oh, wow.
A hero's never off duty, Heidi. A New York doctor who was in the right place at the right time revived a 3-year-old boy who was drowning in a pool in New Jersey. Dr. John Blundell was staying at the Courtyard by Marriott and witnessed an unresponsive boy being pulled from their pool. He ran over and performed CPR and revived the child prior to first responders arriving. An officer was less than a minute away, so he got there pretty quickly, but when he was dispatched to the hotel, officers said that they administered oxygen to the boy, but he had already had this doctor on scene to help make it happen quicker. The child was rushed to a hospital where he was treated and released. Incredibly fortunate that doctor was in the right place at the right time.
Absolutely.
And this reminds me of something in my life. When my little sister was 2 years old, she drowned. And my brother Jason ran for help. And if he would have ran to the north, our neighbor, who had a cabin 2 doors down, had a telephone, and he could have called for help. But instead, for some unknown weird reason, my brother ran to the south, which everybody would say was the wrong direction. But here's what happened. He got 2 cabins down, and the EMTs were having their summer picnic. I was with my dad.
And there were no people who lived the other direction,
No.
so there wouldn't have been anybody there, and he just happened to go
Yeah,
that direction.
I was with my dad when he had started CPR, and my brother Jason ran for help. And 1 minute later, this guy with a bag and everything shows up. My dad was like, "Where did you come from?"
Right.
It was crazy. And my sister, by the way, is alive today because of that.
Right.
So a cool story just like this one. I've got a link to this story in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thank you so much for listening to The John and Heidi Show.